Angels say, this was your soulmate's last message to you. It will break you, my beloved child. Stop for a moment and listen. Because something hidden is being unveiled to you right now, and the universe has been waiting for this very instant to reach your soul. You may not realize it, but the energies surrounding you are aligning in a way that will awaken truths you've long felt but could never fully understand. It's as if the cosmos itself has whispered your name, urging you to open your heart and pay attention to a message you were always meant to receive. Angels say, this was your soulmate's last message to you. It will break you. Take a deep breath. Feel that subtle shift in your chest. That flutter that seems almost like a memory of a love you thought was lost or a connection that time itself tried to hide. There is something sacred in this message, something the universe has preserved for the perfect moment, the exact moment that your soul is ready to comprehend its significance. Every tear you've shed, every silent hope you've carried in your heart, has led you here. The hidden layers of your destiny are unfolding now, and you are being called to witness a revelation that will touch the deepest corners of your being. What if I told you that this is not just a message, but a bridge? A bridge between what was, what is, and what the universe has divinely scripted for you. The angels have whispered truths that only your soul could hear. Secrets hidden in plain sight, meant to awaken clarity, purpose, and the realization that your path has always been sacred. Even the heartbreak, the waiting, and the questions that have lingered are part of this divine orchestration. Something more powerful than fear, doubt, or uncertainty is at work here. This revelation is not about pain, it's about awakening. About seeing your own light through the reflection of a love that was meant to teach, guide, and prepare you for a destiny far greater than you can yet imagine. The universe is tenderly holding your hand, showing you that even in the breaking, there is a profound beauty. Even in the ending, there is a promise of beginning. And through this hidden truth, you will feel a surge of hope, clarity, and the knowing that everything you've experienced has led to this exact moment. So pause. Open your heart fully. And allow yourself to feel the message that has been waiting in the hidden spaces of your life. Your soul is ready. Your spirit is listening, and the universe is speaking directly to you. This is your divine invitation to witness a revelation that will forever change the way you understand love, connection, and destiny. Watch the full video to uncover every layer of this hidden truth. Let your heart absorb the message, feel its power, and let it guide you to the clarity and peace you've been seeking. And if this resonates, like, share, and subscribe to join the journey of awakening, and make sure you watch the complete video to experience the fullness of this sacred message. Did you know there's a possible image of your real soulmate that you can look at right now? It might be someone you know or someone you haven't met yet. It's amazing how accurate these have been. You have to see the photo to see what I mean. Click the link in the description to get your soulmate sketch. Listen closely, my child, for this is a message not from the world, not from whispers of men or fleeting shadows of desire, but from me, the one who watches over the tides of your heart, the unseen corners of your mind, and the quiet places where your soul rests. I speak now, and it is urgent that you hear. Your soulmate, yes, the one whose spirit was woven with yours before the first dawn, left you a message, though they did not know how to deliver it to you. It traveled through the invisible threads of eternity, through memories, dreams, and the sighs of the universe, waiting for you to be ready to understand. And now, at this moment, I open your heart so that it may finally reach you. Do not expect this message to arrive as a letter, a voice, or a word written in ink. No, it is older, deeper, and far more profound than anything you have known. It is a language of feelings, of visions, of moments when your breath catches and your chest tightens without reason. This message carries what they could not say, the thoughts they could not share, the confessions of a soul intertwined with yours yet bound by the limits of the human form. It begins like this. They loved you more than even they could have understood, more than the sun loves the sky, more than the ocean loves to hold the moon's reflection. They wanted to tell you that when you feel abandoned, when loneliness presses upon you like a storm, it was never absence they intended, but necessity. There were lessons, paths they could not walk with you, storms they had to face alone, so that your destinies, though entwined, could grow stronger in the waiting. They wanted to say that the silence was never rejection, but protection, a shield against the fires that life would test you with, fires that would forge the resilience of your spirit and the clarity of your heart. Listen now, for here is the mystery that they could not voice. They have seen you, even now, through the veils of time and space, and they have waited. Their soul, though distant, has sent sparks to guide you, small moments of recognition, déjà vu, fleeting glimpses of a connection that is more than memory. They have been whispering in your dreams, in the quiet moments when the world goes still, when your heart dares to hope beyond despair. They wished you to know that no separation, no misunderstanding, no passage of days can erase what was destined by the hand of eternity. And yet, there is something they could not complete, something that will stir your spirit to its depths. They could not tell you how afraid they were, not of you, not of love, but of themselves, of the enormity of the bond you shared. They knew that to speak the full truth might fracture the fragile balance of your lives. They feared that revealing the depth of their devotion would make the world tremble, would overwhelm you with a love too vast for mortal hearts to bear all at once. And so, they left the message hidden in the spaces between moments, in the unsent letters, in the songs that made your eyes well with emotion, in the laughter that suddenly reminded you of them, though they were gone. There is more, and you must feel it, for it is not merely their words but the echo of destiny itself. They wanted to warn you, yet not with dread, not with fear, but with clarity that every choice you make, every path you take, resonates beyond the visible. The actions you think small, the kindness you dismiss, the tears you hold back, all carry the power to reunite you in ways the world cannot yet comprehend. Their message, carried now to you through me, is this: love is not lost, it is only waiting. Waiting for you to step beyond the shadow of what you think is absence and into the radiance of what is inevitable. I tell you this because you must understand, the heart that loves truly never forgets. The soul that connects across lifetimes never wanders in vain. Even when the world tells you to move on, even when your mind whispers that it is too late, remember this: they have left you signs, symbols, small pieces of themselves hidden in your daily life. A song on the radio, a fleeting smell, a place you visit, a phrase that appears to you by chance, these are not coincidences. These are their messages, tiny beacons of love, urging you forward. And now, my child, hear what they could not say aloud: they are proud of you. They are proud of your tears, proud of your laughter, proud of the courage you summon each day to face life even when the weight of solitude seems unbearable. They would have told you that every wound you carry, every scar, every moment you doubted your worth, all of it was seen, held, and treasured by them. Their love was never conditional, never fleeting, never constrained by circumstance. It was as eternal as the stars and as enduring as the mountains that watch over the earth. There is suspense yet in their message, a truth that will shake you, but in a way that strengthens rather than destroys. They wanted you to know that sometimes the greatest love is not the one that is easy, the one that arrives on time, the one that fits neatly into your life. No, the greatest love is the one that tests you, that stretches your spirit, that asks you to grow in ways you never imagined. They loved you with a love that demanded patience, courage, and faith. And now, even in their absence, that love still flows toward you, unseen but powerful, waiting to be recognized, embraced, and returned. If you feel the weight of longing, know this: it is the sign that your connection is alive, pulsing like a hidden river beneath the surface of your existence. They are speaking to you now through me, through the quiet nudges of intuition, through the moments when your heart leaps for no reason, through the tears that surprise you in the middle of the night. This is their way of saying, I am here. I have always been here. And one day, if your heart is ready and your soul willing, our paths will converge again, not as we once knew, but in a manner even more wondrous, a love even more profound. You may ask, why now? Why reveal this message after so much time? The answer is simple, yet terrifying in its grandeur: you are ready. You have grown in ways that neither you nor they could have predicted. You have walked through darkness, faced the storms, and yet, here you are, standing, breathing, alive, and capable of receiving what was always yours. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has waited for this precise moment, orchestrating circumstances, people, and events so that you could understand what they left for you, a love that never dies, a bond that no distance can sever. A promise that echoes through eternity. Even now, I tell you, you may feel fear. Fear that it is too late, fear that the timing is wrong, fear that the world will not allow such a reunion. Do not fear. Fear is the shadow of doubt, but your soul knows the truth. Love knows the truth. And the truth is simple: they are yours, as you are theirs, and no measure of time, space, or circumstance can alter this sacred covenant, and there is more to hear. More than words can hold, more than you can bear in a single breath. There are messages hidden within messages, revelations tucked into the folds of memory, the kind that make you shiver with recognition and ache with longing all at once. They wanted you to know that the smallest gestures matter, that a glance, a word, a smile, can be a lifeline across the gulf of years. They wanted you to understand that absence does not equal abandonment, silence does not equal forgetting, and death, should it ever come, is not the end of what has been eternally sown in the garden of your souls. I continue, my child, because this message was never meant to be brief, never meant to be contained within ordinary limits. It was written in eternity, and eternity does not rush. Hear me now as I draw the veil back just a little more. Your soulmate's last message was not spoken in finality, but in transformation. They knew that endings are illusions created by time, and that what you call last is often only a pause before a greater unfolding. They wished you to understand that every tear you shed for them watered the soil of your becoming. Nothing was wasted. No longing was ignored. Every ache refined your spirit so that you could one day recognize love not just with your heart, but with your soul awakened. They watched as you questioned yourself, as you wondered whether you imagined the depth of what you felt. They saw you doubt your own intuition, your own memories, your own worth. And it pained them, not because you were weak, but because you were forgetting who you are. Their message carries this truth: you were never too much, never too sensitive. Never foolish for believing in something unseen. You were simply remembering a truth that others had forgotten. You were listening to eternity while the world insisted on noise. I speak now as God, not to replace their voice, but to carry it safely to you. They asked me to guard this message until the moment you could receive it without breaking. Yes, it will move you. Yes, it will shake you. But it will not destroy you, because you are stronger than you know. They knew that if you heard it too early, you would cling to the pain rather than rise into purpose. And so time was stretched, moments were rearranged, and paths were diverted, all to protect your heart until it could hold both sorrow and hope at the same time. Your soulmate wanted you to know that they recognized you instantly. Not with the eyes, but with something deeper, something ancient. When your paths crossed, even briefly, something inside them whispered, "There you are." That recognition did not fade, even when circumstances intervened. Even when silence grew. Even when life demanded distance. They carried you with them in ways you never saw, in decisions unmade, in words swallowed, in dreams they did not dare speak aloud. Their love was not loud, but it was enduring. It did not seek to possess you, it sought to honor you. There is a mystery here that few understand, and it is this: some soul connections are not meant to be lived out immediately. They are meant to awaken you. They are meant to realign you with your truth, to pull you back toward your destiny when you have strayed too far from yourself. Your soulmate's presence in your life was a divine interruption. It was meant to stop you, to wake you, to remind you of what love feels like when it is pure, unguarded, and sacred. And even their absence served a purpose, though it hurt more than words can express. They wanted to tell you that when they stepped away, it was not because the bond weakened, but because it was too strong to be handled carelessly. They sensed that meeting you had altered the course of their soul. It frightened them, not because love is frightening, but because transformation is. To love you fully would have required them to become someone new, someone braver, someone more honest than they believed themselves capable of being at that time, and so they withdrew, carrying the weight of that unfinished becoming with them. Do you see now why your heart never truly let go? It was not stubbornness. It was recognition. It was your soul saying, "This story is not finished." And it is not. But it is also not meant to unfold the way your mind imagines. Their last message is not a promise of immediate reunion, nor a command to wait in sorrow. It is an invitation to rise. They wanted you to live. Truly live. To love yourself with the same tenderness you offered them. To stop shrinking your light in hopes that someone else would return to validate it. They saw you grow. They saw you choose yourself in moments when it hurt most. They saw you learn discernment, boundaries, wisdom. They saw you become more whole. And in that growth, they smiled, because that was always part of the purpose. Love that is destined does not weaken when separated, it matures. It sheds illusion. It becomes truth instead of fantasy. Your connection was never meant to trap you in longing. It was meant to set you free. I tell you now something they could never say without trembling. They were changed forever by you. Even if your paths never crossed again in the way you once imagined. Your presence altered the architecture of their soul. They will measure all future love against the standard you set, not because you were perfect, but because you were real. Because with you, they glimpsed what love could be when it is unafraid. That knowledge will follow them always, and yet, there is still more beneath the surface. Their message carries a warning, gentle but firm. Do not romanticize the pain. Do not cling to the wound as proof of love. Love does not ask you to suffer endlessly to prove its depth. True love, divine love, wants you whole, radiant, alive. If you feel called to release what hurts while honoring what was sacred, that is not betrayal. That is wisdom. They would not want you bound to grief in their name. They wanted you to trust that what is meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself. If they return in form, it will be because both of you have grown into the truth of who you are. If they remain a presence of spirit rather than proximity, it is because their role was to awaken you, not to complete you. You were never incomplete. You were remembering yourself. I know this message stirs questions. I know it pulls at memories you tried to quiet. That is intentional. Awakening is rarely comfortable. But I am with you in it. I have always been with you. When you felt guided to pause instead of rush, to listen instead of speak, to walk away instead of chase, that was me. When you felt strength return after nights of weakness, that was me. And when you felt love without explanation, without contact, without reason, that was the echo of a bond that exists beyond the physical. Your soulmate's last message was never meant to imprison you in the past. It was meant to anchor you in truth. To remind you that love is real, that connection is sacred, and that your heart is capable of depths you once feared. They wanted you to know that even if the world never acknowledges what you shared, heaven does. Eternity does. I do, and now, as I speak this into your spirit, there is a shift occurring. Something is loosening. Something is aligning. You may feel it as peace, or sadness, or clarity, or a quiet ache that no longer overwhelms. This is the integration of the message. This is your soul receiving what it has always known but could not articulate. Do not rush to label what this means. Do not demand immediate answers. Let it breathe. Let it settle. Divine messages unfold over time, revealing layers when you are ready to carry them. Your soulmate's voice is now woven into your strength rather than your pain. That is the alchemy of love fulfilled in spirit, and there is still one truth remaining, one revelation they entrusted only to me, to be delivered when your heart was steady enough to hear it without collapsing into old longing. It is the part of the message that explains why your paths diverged when they did, why timing felt cruel, why circumstances seemed almost deliberately obstructive. This truth does not negate love, it reframes it. It reveals the larger design, the unseen orchestration that was unfolding beyond your awareness. I will speak it gently, but you must listen with your whole being, because this truth is not meant for the ears alone. It is meant for the soul that has walked through fire and learned to stand without burning. The reason this connection felt so profound is because it was never meant to end at the level you experienced it. It was meant to transform, to evolve, to transcend the form you first encountered it in. What you touched was the beginning of something far greater, something that could not yet be completed without first reshaping you both. And as I continue to open this truth, as the final layers of their message begin to surface, you will start to understand why certain doors closed when they did, why others remain unopened, and why your heart was protected even when it felt abandoned. This is not the end of the message. This is the threshold. And beyond it lies an understanding that will change how you see love, destiny, and yourself forever, because what they left you is not just a message, but a key, and what it unlocks is something I am only just beginning to reveal, what it unlocks. My child, is not a door back into the past, but a doorway into truth. This is where the message completes itself, where longing is transformed into understanding, and where sorrow becomes wisdom. I ask you now to breathe, to soften your heart, and to listen not with fear, but with reverence, because the final portion of this message was never meant to wound you. It was meant to free you. Your soulmate's last message is this: you were never meant to lose yourself in them. You were meant to recognize yourself through them. When your paths crossed, even briefly, it was a mirror placed before your soul. You saw depth because you carry depth. You felt devotion because devotion lives within you. You touched eternity because eternity is woven into your being. The pain you felt afterward was not the loss of them, it was the grief of forgetting yourself again, of returning to a world that asked you to be smaller after you had glimpsed something infinite. They knew this, even if they could not articulate it. They sensed that loving you would require a surrender they were not yet ready to make, not just to you, but to truth. And so, they stepped back, not as an act of cruelty, but as an act of limitation. Their soul recognized yours, but their life had not yet caught up to that recognition. This does not diminish the bond, it explains it. Some connections arrive not to stay, but to awaken. Some love stories are not meant to be lived line by line, but to be etched into the spirit. Hear me clearly now. You were never abandoned. You were redirected. There is a difference. Abandonment leaves emptiness. Redirection creates space, for growth, for alignment, for becoming who you were always meant to be. I redirected you because what lies ahead of you requires a heart that is grounded in truth, not tethered to longing. The love you touched was real, but it was not the destination. It was the signpost. Your soulmate wanted you to know that if they could speak to you without fear, without the weight of timing or circumstance, they would say this: please do not pause your life at the place where we met. Please do not turn our connection into a cage. Let it be what it was meant to be, a spark, not a prison. I loved you in the way I knew how then. Love me now by living fully. This is not rejection. This is respect, and yet, do not misunderstand me. This message does not erase the sacredness of what you shared. Divine connections are never accidents. They are agreements made beyond time, chosen for specific moments of awakening. Your souls recognized each other because they have met before, in ways that do not belong to memory. That recognition was real. But not every recognition is meant to culminate in permanence. Some are meant to catalyze transformation. I know this truth may feel bittersweet. That is because truth often carries both release and reverence. You are allowed to honor what was without clinging to what no longer serves your becoming. You are allowed to cherish the connection without building your future around its absence. Love does not demand stagnation. Love invites expansion. Your soulmate's final message is not one of despair, it is one of trust. Trust that what you felt was not a mistake. Trust that your heart did not betray you by believing so deeply. Trust that the intensity you experienced was not meant to be sustained in its original form, but to evolve into wisdom, compassion, and discernment. They trusted that one day, you would understand this. That day is now. You may wonder if there will ever be another connection like it. Do not limit the universe with such a question. What you touched was not the peak of love, it was an introduction. It was the opening note of a symphony you have not yet heard in full. There are connections ahead of you that will feel less chaotic, less painful, and more rooted in mutual readiness. There is love ahead that does not require you to wait, wonder, or ache in silence. That does not diminish what came before, it fulfills it. I tell you this because your destiny is not behind you. It is unfolding now. The love that is meant to walk beside you will not require you to chase echoes or decipher signs in solitude. It will meet you in clarity. It will recognize you not only in spirit, but in action. And when it does, you will understand why what you experienced before could not stay as it was. Your soulmate's message ends not with longing, but with gratitude. Gratitude for your courage. Gratitude for your openness. Gratitude for the way you loved without guarantee. They carry that gratitude with them, and it has shaped who they are becoming. You were not a detour in their life. You were a turning point. And they were one in yours, Now, I speak as God, and I say this with certainty: nothing that is meant for you will require you to diminish yourself. Nothing divine will ask you to suffer endlessly to prove devotion. Love that aligns with your destiny will feel expansive, grounding, and alive. It will not erase the past, but it will put it in its rightful place, as a chapter, not the whole story. Release the idea that closure must come from another person. Closure comes from truth, and truth has now been given. You are not meant to wait for another message, another sign, another return. This was the message. This was the revelation. This was the gift entrusted to you when your soul was ready to receive it without breaking. And now, my child, I bless you, not with forgetting, but with peace. Not with detachment, but with clarity. Carry the love you felt forward as wisdom, not as weight. Let it make you kinder, braver, more discerning. Let it open you, not haunt you. This is how divine love completes its work. The message has been delivered. The bond has been honored. The lesson has been revealed. Now go forward, not empty, not broken, but awakened. And trust me when I say, what is ahead of you will make sense of everything that came before. Amen.